Let's talk about the Bahmani kingdom. In the previous lectures, we had talked about an introduction to Vijayanagar and Bahmani empire, how they rose to power, and in the last class we focused on the Vijayanagar empire. Coming on to Bahmani kingdom. Now Bahmani was an important location north of the Deccan region. So basically it was an independent kingdom formed in the region of Daulatabad, and it was here that initially Hasan Gangu was the founder of the Bahmani kingdom. The time Hasan Gangu started to establish the Bahmani kingdom in the region of Delhi, there was the rule of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So during that time, the idea was the Devangiri or the region of Daulatabad became independent, and this became independent under Hasan Gangu in 1347. So it is 1347. Now it's very easy to remember. How? Because 1947 we had the year of independence. Just we have 600 years before that the establishment of the Bahmani kingdom that took place. This dynasty remained in power for nearly 180 years before it bifurcated. The rule for the Bahmani kingdom was relatively less as compared to the Vijayanagar dynasty, as we had seen. Now Hasan Gangu started the Bahmani empire, and the capital at that time was Gulbarg. So Gulbarg became the capital of the Bahmani kingdom, and the region north of Krishna was part of the Bahmani empire. Under Bahmani empire there were two important figures. One was Firoz Shah Bahmani and the other was Mahmud Gawan. Firoz Shah Bahmani was one of the major powerful rulers who conquered the region of Raichur Doab, and this was the region lying between the Krishna and its tributaries. Now it was he who defeated the kings of Vijayanagar. He was one of the most capable rulers. He was also known as a literary figure, had many learned persons invited to his court, and moreover he himself was a very great poet. He used to write numerous poems, and even he knew numerous languages. So this was about Firoz Shah Bahmani, one of the major rulers of Bahmani kingdom. The next important person was Mahmud Gawan. Note, Mahmud Gawan was not a king. He was a wazir at the time of Muhammad Shah III. So at the time of Muhammad Shah III, Mahmud Gawan was the wazir. However, later on he was wazir during the empires of other kings as well. He brought a lot of prosperity to the kingdom by developing the agriculture, successfully fought major wars against Vijayanagar dynasty in the south, the Konkan dynasty in the west, the Odisha in the east, and then also the region of Sangameshwar. So those were the important regions that were in fight with Mahmud Gawan. Now he was called as a great pattern of learning. He was also considered as one of the very good administrators. His control was very good, and he built a magnificent, we could say, madrasa in the region of Bidar, and this was the place where numerous scholars used to come and get the knowledge. Also, he was known for his military genius because he was one of the exceptional persons who fought numerous wars. However, in 1481, his own nobles actually killed him. So Mahmud Gawan's duration has been very important. The next was, after this we have seen the downfall of the Bahmani kingdom. Now the Bahmani kingdom segregated into 5 different smaller subsets, we would say. So Ahmednagar under Nizam Shahi was the first region that segregated. Bijapur under Adil Shahi, the region of Berar under Imad Shahi, the region of Bidar under Barid Shahi, so Berar under Imad Shahi and Bidar under Barid Shahi, and then finally Golconda under Qutub Shahi. So those were the 5 small kingdoms that segregated during this time. The later rulers of the Bahmani kingdom were very, very weak. They were not competent, and moreover they were fighting among themselves. So what happened was, the last important thing that happened was in 1565, the battle of Talikota. And after the battle of Talikota, where all these five forces united together, the Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Bidar, Berar and Golconda, against the Vijayanagar, they won the Vijayanagar. But later on there was a significant downfall that was seen, and whole of the region was basically under the Mughal Empire. So total disintegration of the Bahmani kingdom into these five regions started in 1927, and then since then there was a significant reduction in the kind of power that was witnessed under the Bahmani kingdom. Coming on next is the administration under Bahmani rulers. So the region or the empire was divided under provinces. The empire was under wazir and the provinces was under governors. Now each of the governor was charging certain taxes, and the main idea of building on the taxes was building on the troops, spending more on war. So the only thing that they were interested to spend on more was war, military. So that was the main thing. Each governor had certain fixed number of soldiers that he would send to the king or the main empire for the war purpose. Also, two important languages were very, very popular under the Bahmani rulers, and those were the Persian language as well as the Arabic language. So two important languages that were part of the Bahmani administration system. The next important thing that we understand is architecture. So under architecture, no doubt Gol Gumbaj of Bijapur is one of the marvels across the world, one of the largest dams in the one of the largest domes in the world, and moreover it is a unique dome because the dome is not supported by any pillar, and it is also known for its acoustics. You can hear multiple echoes within the region of the dome, and therefore Gol Gumbaj is a classic example. We would be talking about Gol Gumbaj more in a while. Next is Jama Masjid of Gulbarg, Chand Minar of Bidar. We also have the fortress of Daulatabad, the tomb of Mahmud Gawan, the Madrasa of Mahmud Gawan, and Jama Masjid at Bidar, also Jama Masjid at Gulbarg. So those are some of the important architectural marvels that we have seen. As we mentioned, Gol Gumbaj was one of the major marvels that has been seen. The idea was Gol Gumbaj does not have any pillar and still the dome is supported there. It is one of the classic examples of being one of the largest domes in the world. Now, the whole of the dome is very, very unique. The dome is surrounded by four corners, and on the four corners there are four towers that are there. Each of the tower is 7-storied, and then we have the central dome. On the top of the central dome there is a minaret that is there. So if we want to explain it, let's say this is the dome. On the four corners of the dome there would be four towers. Each of those would be 7-storied. Then on the top of the dome there is a minaret that is there, and this tapering minaret basically gives the feeling of a elegant feature and the power of Bahmani Empire. The next important thing was the kind of arches that have been seen. So there are 8 arches that actually support the dome structure. The whole area of Gol Gumbaz is interesting. It is nearly 18,000 square feet with the diameter itself of the Gumbaj, which is around 43 meters, making it a mind-blowing structure. In the words of Piercy Brown, we understand that it is one of the most remarkable structures that have been built during the Islamic period in India. Also, one of the very interesting facts is the General Post Office and the Prince of Wales Museum in Mumbai has been inspired by the design of Gol Gumbaj, and as we already said in the beginning, it is known for its acoustic system, the unique acoustic system, because if you go inside the dome, you would hear multiple echoes. This acoustic system was not only unique to the Gol Gumbaj but was also seen in the Golconda Fort. Now the Golconda Fort, which was built under the Qutub Shahi dynasty, is another important marvel. It extends for nearly 11 kilometers and has been enclosed with an outer wall. As we already mentioned, the acoustic system which has been developed has been very prominent across the various architectural designs in the Bahmani kingdom. It is one of the citadel as well as the fort that has been built in this region, and Bahmani Empire was known for its architectural marvel and architectural design. The next important thing was the end of the Vijayanagar dynasty through the Battle of Talikota. Now, Battle of Talikota in 1565 that took place between Alia Ram Rai and the five powers that were there. Now, these five powers were the Bidar, Berar, Bijapur, Ahmednagar and Golconda under their respective leaders. The idea was that the Vijayanagar dynasty was defeated during this time. However, the disintegration of the Bahmani kingdom started in 1527 itself. It was few years later, after the death of Mahmud Gawan, that Bahmani Empire disintegrated into five small powers. These five small powers united together to fight against the Vijayanagar dynasty in the south, and in the south it was Alia Ram Rai who was finally executed and Bahmani Empire could win. But as we said, each of the empires the kings there were incompetent and relatively weak, so the power started to dismantle and most of the Bahmani kingdom was then part of the Mughal Empire. So that was about the Bahmani kingdom. We would be covering many more interesting lectures in history. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead.